I'm Steve.
And I'm Annette.
And we're from MoneySmartFamily, and today we're talking about making money from stuff that you don't need or stuff that you found.
Like it's in your house right now. Hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
So keep
watching.
Money Smart Family. Okay, before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our channel by hitting the little subscribe button down on the bottom corner and hit the bell so you're notified every time we put up a new video. And
leave a comment because we love chatting with you.
In a previous video, we talked with Rob and Melissa Stevenson from Flea Market Flippers about how they got started making a full-time income buying and selling stuff that they found at flea markets, alongside the road, thrift stores, all kinds of places. And we invited them back because secretly, I want help. Because we love flipping stuff. We have a knack for finding deals, but we haven't perfected the art of selling it for 5 and 10 times what we've got. So welcome back, Rob and Melissa. And the last time we talked with them, they were sharing their story about how they went from part-time flipping to full-time flipping.
We even mentioned how folks that are signing up for their courses are oftentimes in their senior years because they have time, they are usually frugal people, and maybe they're downsizing. They have usually big houses with lots of stuff, and flipping is the perfect side income for them.
And so if the economy is down for you right now, this may be something to really consider to add some extra income to your budget.
Or even tide you over until the employment situation for you changes.
So we're empty nesters and we're cleaning out stuff like crazy. What is the best way to get started turning this stuff into cash? I mean, we got some stuff, I don't think it's worth anything. So help us figure out how to do this stuff.
Definitely. The first thing that we tell everybody who comes to us and actually jumps into Flipper University, start with the stuff that you have. Just like you said, you have stuff in the garage, you probably have stuff in the closet, stuff in the attic. You have this stuff that you haven't used in the last 6 months, a year, maybe even like 3 to 5 years, stuff that you have not used. Let's turn that into cash. That's what you want to start with, because the learning curve is a lot better in this business with stuff that you already have before you actually start investing into stuff, putting your own money back out to invest to make more money. So start with that stuff. And like you said, Steve, how do you know what it's worth? Guess what? We got this smartphone, you got your computer. Jump onto eBay and see what the item is selling for and what they are listed for. eBay gives you 2 options: to go and look at completed listings, and they let you look at stuff that is listed right now. So you can ask any price you want for your items, but if they have not sold in the last 60 to 90 days for that price, you're probably wasting your time on asking too much for that item.
That's right. And I love that point. And that's something we do regularly. Is we go to the advanced search right here, and it'll show you, give the options for completed or for sold. And that is like one of the biggest tips we learned from taking the Flipper University. It's perfect because you know exactly what it's sold for. You know if they gave free shipping or not free shipping. And I love that.
I think once things sell, like if you start listing some stuff and then things start selling, they get really excited to hear that cha-ching or to make some cash. Like, oh,
what else can I sell?
Yeah. Yes.
So are there some things that these aren't the best things to start with? Like what about clothes?
Rob and Melissa, doesn't it depend on who you are and what your thing is? Because I'm thinking about people that are in the Pro Flipper group private Facebook page, and there's people in there that love shopping discontinued items at Walgreens, and that is their thing. They flip those kinds of things. And then there's other people that love clothes. There are some people that love to do shoes. So it's whatever you know, kind of, and what your niche is, right?
But when you're starting out and you're talking about cleaning out your garage, what are some things you go, these will sell, these kind of things will sell, these kind of things not so much? Don't waste your time on that.
And it's worth value. You don't want to try and sell old worn out clothes, old worn out shoes and stuff like that. Not that kind of stuff. But if you have something that you know is still in decent condition that somebody else can use, this is the cool thing about maybe you've never sold on eBay before. You want to build up your feedback. So you are willing, if you have stuff that you have in the garage that's just taking up space, collecting dust, and you would throw it to Goodwill or Salvation Army, take those items, list them on eBay, and list them for, whatever it is, $1, an auction, whatever it is, because you don't really care. You're going to donate it anyways. Do not lose money on shipping. You want to make sure that your shipping is covered. eBay has a foolproof way of doing that now. You can do calculated shipping, or you can put a flat rate of whatever you want to charge for shipping. But let that thing just sell and get the positive feedback for it. So there's not really a rhyme or a reason what's worth money, what's not worth money. If you have it and it's not worn out, chances are you can make some money on it. If I could pull something up right now that would blow your mind how much we're actually selling it on eBay. But that's what I mean. Don't discount anything. Everything somebody will want as long as it's not worn out or it's trash.
And if it's yours, you probably know what you paid for it. I mean, you might have already bought it secondhand, but the brand names are big too. So like you have, designer clothes or brand name, whatever, that there's higher end brands, and those will typically bring in more money.
Yeah.
You guys talk a lot about doing eBay. Do you sell any stuff locally?
Give us like 5 of the most common platforms where you can sell stuff.
Definitely. Well, we do sell, probably 80 to 90% of our sales come from eBay. The reason they come from eBay is because eBay has over 182 million registered users throughout the world. We ship global as well because eBay will allow us to ship to the UK, to Canada, and all that kind of stuff. All we have to do is ship it to their central hub, and then they forward it on globally wherever it's going. So that's the biggest reason we use eBay. Now, we do cross-post. We use Facebook Marketplace. We use Offerup. Craigslist.
Mercari. We dabble on Mercari. And if you have clothes, Poshmark is a good one. We don't do a ton of clothes, but a lot of people do really well on Poshmark too.
Yep.
So you said you cross-post stuff. Isn't there a danger in doing that?
No, there's not. I mean, eBay is the biggest. Most of these other apps we're telling you are local apps, except for, I guess, Mercari and
it's gotten bigger.
You just have to stay on top of it. Our business model is sell fewer items with a lot more profit. So we don't have thousands of items listed. We typically stick with about 100 items that are offered. So if something sells on one platform, you need to make sure you get into the other platforms and delete it. It's not a big ordeal if it's a local,
like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, because you're going to sell it on eBay and then you just pull it off a marketplace.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're on Facebook, you're meeting somebody, so you have time to take it off.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, good. One of the biggest struggles for us is when we got the item and we got to find a box for it. It's a pain in the butt, right? Or deciding how to ship it. Do we ship it ground, or do we ship it priority mail, or do we go
flat
UPS,
rate,
FedEx? Just take it.
But I have learned when we list stuff, it's already boxed up. It's even got the padding so that when it sells, it is just a snap to just basically print out the receipt, stick it in, and off it goes.
So give us some of your guru tips on shipping, being prepped for shipping, packing material, all that stuff.
For sure. I mean, the coolest thing about eBay is they've been doing this for years. So they've made this as easy as possible for you. Now, the packaging, you just have to have, 2 to 3 inches of packaging, whether that's peanuts for lighter items, packaging peanuts if you want to use them, or a bubble wrap around that item. 2 to 3 inches into the box. Make sure when you shake the box, the thing's not bumping all over the place. That's the biggest thing about packaging. Now, as for shipping labels and which to use and all that kind of stuff, this is the awesome part. Like you said, Annette, if you have that done when you're listing the item, you have the box size. eBay has something called calculated shipping that you're going to be able to measure that box, the exact 3 dimensions of the box and the weight of that box, put it into eBay's calculated shipping, and they're going to tell the buyer, any buyers that are looking for that item, they're going to tell them how much it costs to ship it, and eBay will take care of all of that. So when the buyer buys your item and pays for it, eBay charges them extra for the label, and then you actually create the label in eBay, and you tape the label on the box, and then you ship it out. So there's no money, there's no really risk to you on, oh shoot, I said it was going to be $10 to ship this and now it's $20. eBay does all that calculation for you ahead of time.
So do you do that rather than charging a flat rate for shipping?
We don't do that now.
Yeah.
Now we do a lot of free shipping and build it into the price, or just do a flat rate, because we know now pretty much what it's going to cost to go from us to California. So since we're on the other end, so we kind of just gauge it on that.
The cool thing about eBay is they're so big, they have so many registered users, they give you a discount. So if I take something that I sell, whatever it is, so if I take it to my local pack and ship place, they're going to give me a price, or even if I go onto FedEx or UPS's website, their price is going to be, say it's $20. eBay, usually I've had an up to 40% discount by using eBay to print my labels. So that's another huge savings that you can save by selling the item in eBay and then using their account to print the labels. You're going to save that much money on the shipping cost.
When we write our books, like we wrote America's Cheapest Family Gets You Right on the Money. Each chapter we broke down tips to beginners, which would be the timid mouse. They're not so sure about themselves, they're kind of scurrying around trying to figure it out. Then you got the wise owl who sits up in the tree and watches and swoops down at the last minute to get their deal, and then they're gone. And then there's the amazing ant. They don't care who sees them. They get their whole group out there and they're just going after it, right?
And they're transporting stuff.
Yeah. So for flippers, I'm pretty sure it's the same way. So if you're a beginner flipper, what are some of the things that you should be thinking about doing to make this successful? And then talk to the intermediate and then talk to the pro level. Just give us kind of a brief.
And tell us about your Pro Flipper Club while you're doing it, and the different levels too.
I think the biggest thing for beginners is to get started. That is the hardest thing, to get your first item listed. And that's why, like you're talking about the Pro Flipper Club, that's why we created it, to help to encourage people and to reach that first $1,000 on selling. And so then we created the 1K Pro Flipper Club, and then we celebrate 5K and 10K, and now just recently 100K. But getting started is the hardest part. So it's just getting started and doing it, because you'll make mistakes and it's okay, and you learn from each one, and you have a community to do it with.
Well, so I kind of feel like we're intermediate, and for us, the hurdle that I'm just not ready to jump over yet is to do freight shipping.
It definitely, intermediate is just going to that next level. It's finding those items that may be a little bit out of your comfort zone. It could be a cooktop. It could be a sleep number bed, whatever it is. It's going to that next level and doing it. It is possible. Even freight. I mean, people say, I don't have a truck. I don't have a forklift. I can't do this and that. Trust me, there's a will. I could give you stories right now of people who have done it without a truck, without a trailer, without a forklift. If there's a will, there's a way you can make money at freight if you're willing to learn it and do it.
So if we're looking at intermediate flippers, what kind of, and I know it's not just one number of items that you have, like 50 items is intermediate, 100 items is pro, but to make a decent living at this, what's kind of the benchmark for how many items we should have targeted as being listed?
It really depends on like the individual, what you want, what you need to survive your monthly income. Us personally, I mean, we have roughly 100. We keep 100 to 120 items listed on eBay, and the price range on those items for us, I think we're over between $200,000 and $250,000 listed on eBay with those.
So our business model is a little different from a lot of flippers, because we don't do a lot of small items. So most of our items are worth a couple $100s or a couple $1,000.
Right.
So we ship and sell less volume but higher profit.
And that's to spend more time with the family.
And if I've learned correctly from our special little Facebook group, there's a lot of people there doing quote unquote the smalls, and they'll have anywhere from 100 to 200 items listed on multiple platforms, and they'll be making that very decent side income, like several thousand a month, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month they'll be making with having 100 to 200 items listed.
Just touch on the pros and what kind of differentiates them from the intermediate part-time. I guess you consider pro being somebody who's doing it full-time, right?
Pro Flipper more is like the Pro Flipper club that we do. Yeah, I don't know if we really distinguish like pro being a freight shipper.
Yeah.
We've had a couple people that have gone full time with flipping.
Just this last year, we had 3 people go full time, and that was never our intention. Whenever we started, like we really wanted to help people make a good extra side income, and then to have 3 people go full time, 2 of them were nurses.
Right. Well, so then really, the Pro Flipper level is the people that are doing it full time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, like you said, amazing to hear these people and talk about how, they're earning money while they sleep because the cha-ching is going off, and work it totally around their schedules with their kids, grandkids, whatever their activities are, their lifestyle. They can still earn full-time income.
So our neighbor moved, and they gave us a set of Ping golf clubs. These are vintage.
Wait, it's hard to see
These
what
are
those are.
before they had a patent on the Ping golf club. So we don't have a full set, though. We've only got 7 of 9 of them. Give me some tips on how you'd sell this.
Definitely. I mean, I would, well, eBay, yeah, 100% eBay, but I would also look, is there any model at the bottom of the club? Like what type of model it is for Ping?
Yep, they're Karsten 1s.
Karsten ones. Okay. I would jump onto eBay and I would look at completed listings. I would type in the search bar, Ping Carson 1. And then I would look at the range. And trust me, golf is huge. So there's probably a wide range of clubs. And then it's going to just depend on the condition of your club, if they're in great condition, and your feedback. It plays a big part in this as well. So if you have feedback, you have, say, 50 feedback or above, you're going to be able to ask, probably the medium to higher end for those clubs when you find the comps. If it's lower than 50, you have to ask a little, more towards the medium to lower end of the comps with the club.
Good point. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we've got 580 feedback. So we're doing good.
We are.
Okay, next item.
So
this is a cool deal.
The queen of the smalls right here, okay? I was in Kroger the other night to run in and pick up a few sale items, and they had a shopping cart full of this Dial liquid soap. And originally I was thinking this would be a good thing because we run 3 rooms on Airbnb and we're always needing toiletries to stock the bathroom. So I didn't even think twice. I bought as many as I could throw in the cart, right? At 25 cents for a $7 or $8 item, I don't even know. Anyway, so then we're listing stuff like crazy this past Monday night, and I went, oh, the liquid soap. I said, I don't know, I don't remember who is in our group that does the CVS or the Walgreens, and I was like, wait. So I looked them up, and they're selling anywhere from like $7 to $10 a piece on eBay.
But I don't want to sell a $7 item.
No, right. But I learned this from Stacy. Stacy in the group. She'll take like 4 items and group them together. So I thought if I could sell 4 of them for $6 a piece, that's giving somebody a good deal. And so I will probably be listing these. They're on my list, on my to-do list for listing.
So talk about bundling and groups of things. Is there a strategy to use? How can you improve on that?
Yeah, definitely. Just like you were saying, Annette, it's to get those prices that are selling for lower. Put a couple of them together to where it makes it more worth your time, throwing them all into one box and getting shit out. That's very, very smart. We also bundle when we try to buy stuff from vendors. If I find a couple items here and there and I can bundle everything together to get a better deal when we're sourcing, I do the same thing that way. But yeah, that's a very wise way to do that for sure. And
Stacy's my idol. She's definitely the pro flipper queen, right? And one day she showed I mean, the things she posts, I'm just like all the time going, oh my gosh, how does she come up with these things? How does she go in and find them? She's amazing. Anyway, you guys are amazing too, but Stacy's pretty amazing. I think you'll agree. And one day she puts this picture up of 4 boxes of cereal and says, oh, they've been discontinued. So I listed them on eBay and I sold them for $48. I'm like, shut the front door. I'm just like, I can't even believe this.
Oh.
People like their products, and if they can't get them anymore, then they definitely go up in value.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, is there a bottom line for you guys that you won't consider selling an item if it's below this price?
Typically about $50. So it's kind of like if we can't get at least $50 at this point. Now, though, while we're starting to do more with the kids, that's less because we're trying to teach them how to do it. But for us, it's about $50.
And we're going to talk about the kids in the next interview.
Right. Melissa, I think I did hear you say for the beginning flippers, which I think we vacillate sometimes between beginning and intermediate, you were saying $20 when you're starting should be your benchmark. So if it's less than $20, by the time you have to list it and describe it and get it packed up and all that jazz. And that was very helpful for me.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, once you've built the feedback, that is the one time when listing stuff a little bit less, like we talked about
Yes.
earlier, is beneficial. But once you've got that feedback built up, you know, $20, you really have to look at your time. What are you worth per hour?
Right.
So, yeah.
Because it's the same thing. You're selling one item for, $50 to $100 that you're going to sell at
It's the same amount of time.
same amount of
Taking
time
pictures,
invested
listed,
into that
yeah.
item. So that's where you want to try and keep the profits up higher, a little bit higher.
Okay, so we've been talking with you guys. We've got tons of information. Let's tell our friends who are watching what they can get from you guys. How can you help them with their flipping business? Talk about your courses.
We put together Flipper University that has the start to finish, starting out flipping, learning how to set up your accounts, going through it, learning how to source and find items, first selling the items that you have, and then learning how to source. So yeah, Flipper University is the place to go if you want to learn how to make this a viable side hustle or even go into it full time in the future.
Yes.
And we have our members group that is really so much fun and amazing. A big asset to be able to do this.
For sure.
And Annette is on there all the time. And it's a community.
Right.
It's everybody supporting each other. It's really, people don't keep secrets. They're sharing, they're transparent. It's amazing. You know, we talked about being frugal, and there may be some people who look at the price of your courses and they go, oh gosh, I don't want to spend that. Honestly, most people who take that course, they make that money back within a month or two. I mean, they're just, it's a great investment in yourself. But if somebody's a little hesitant, what do you have as a free starter where they can kind of dip their feet in the water?
Yeah, we put together a workshop that you do to see if this is something that you really want to do. So it's a webinar style workshop.
Yep.
And yeah.
And then also, as you go through the workshop, we also, at the end of the workshop, we give you the beginner's guide to selling on eBay.
Yep, it's a free
That's it,
book
right?
at the
Yeah.
end. So
Okay, so we're going to have links to all your stuff in the show notes down below. And we're going to let you know when the video goes public so that you can interact with some of the questions. Please send us your questions. We love to chat with you.
Make sure you leave a comment. Annette already said that. And watch these videos over here. Next.
See you next time.